What's up, y'all? Welcome back to ZayMoolaSportsPodcast. I'm your host, Isaiah.
And I'm D'Asia.
Yes, and we have a very special guest with me on today, man. I have the one and only D'Asya Renee. Show some love for her, y'all. D'Asia, I'm so glad you can be here with me today. I've been wanting to have you on here for a while because I know you really, know your women's college basketball. So I'm glad we were able to do this.
hmm I'm glad to be here as well.
All right, let's go ahead and get straight into it. So I want to start with South Carolina. They had a very close opening game victory against Michigan, which they won 68-62.
hmm
How do you feel about the Gamecocks this year, and do you think it's going to be harder for them to repeat, especially considering now that Texas and Oklahoma are in the SEC?
I don't feel like it's gonna be hard for them to repeat. I feel like if the situation with Ashlyn gets figured out in regards to the situation that occurred, I don't know if you know what happened, but like she had some
Mhm.
charges and some things going on. I feel like she's very impactful for their team. She's very much a leader. She holds them together and holds them accountable, and she's kind of like the protector of the team. So I feel like with them having that missing piece of her and having that length, that is they're kind of lacking in that area, considering that she does bring a lot to the team. And so with her being gone, I feel like that's been very impactful. But I do know that like Don Staley is still going to hold them accountable and hold them to like a higher standard in that regard. So I'm sure they definitely will get better over time. But I do feel like the decision that she chose to do has impacted them because you can kind of see in the way they're playing.
Yeah, I agree. Their first game against Michigan, Michigan was kind of dominating them on the glass early on. So they
Mhm.
really do need Ashland to come back. Chloe Kidd, she had a great game. She had like 19 points and 11 rebounds. So that was great to see. But yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that center spot for South Carolina is going to be interesting because now that Camila Cardozo is in the WNBA,
Mhm.
they're really going to need Sanaa Fagan and Sakine Walker and like you said, Ashland Watkins to really step up this year.
Mhm.
But you said you don't think it's going to be harder for them to repeat.
I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be difficult. Actually, I don't know if they'll repeat because honestly, I feel like the person that I'm looking forward to kind of seeing like what they do and how they're able to be impactful, it is a lot of people. The freshmen that were dominating are now sophomores, so they now have another year under their belt. So like Juju and
And her
even
doggo.
Hannah Doggo and even Jada Williams and Arizona actually having a bench now and actually having people at bench and Jada from being from Kansas City, I've watched her and her a little bit earlier in the game. She is more confident in her shot and she's hitting a lot of threes. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like they should do good. I feel like South Carolina being that they have the returning point guard is always a case of going back to back, still having your same point guard and still
Hmm.
kind of having that same chemistry. But I feel like in regards to the post position, Chloe Kitts is good offensively, but Ashlyn protects the basket way better than Chloe does. So Ashlyn is long, she's a shot blocker, and she is
Facts.
very much a defender. That's what
Hmm.
Don Staley likes, and so that's why Ashlyn had played a lot. And even the circumstances when Ashlyn wasn't maybe getting as much shine. I feel like they're now seeing that she was impactful, but I feel like Chloe has to get better defensively because Ashlyn is really good defensively in the post. So that's why I feel like Michigan gave them some trouble.
Yes, they a lot. And like you said, Ashland, I mean, they call her Ashland Swatkins for a reason.
Yeah.
She's one of the best shot blockers in women's college basketball. Now you kind of touched on the freshmen from last year that are now sophomores, and I'm glad you mentioned that because USC they had a game in Paris on Monday. They played
hmm
against Ole Miss. That was a nail biter, and
Yeah.
one of the freshmen now sophomore in that game is Juju Watkins. She had a phenomenal game, had about 27 points. How do you
hmm
feel about USC this year? Because now, they went out and added Talia Hoffman, Kiki, and then they also signed Kennedy Smith, who's one of the best high school players last year in women's basketball. Excuse me. So, how do you feel about USC this year? Do you think they really have a shot of winning the national championship?
I do, cause considering that they did all they could do with Judah just being a freshman, I don't feel like people. I feel like people give her enough credit, but they don't give the team as a whole as enough credit. Like USC did a total turnaround because she chose to stay at home, and also those people that were like playing with her with the like super seniors, they're very impactful too. But them adding a really good point guard can give Juju the opportunity of, well, okay, you can try to double her, but it's still another point guard that can score at a high level. So I don't feel like they're gonna be able to double and triple team her like they were doing, even though she was doing a phenomenal job of still getting herself free and doing what she wanted to do as a freshman. So I just feel like with them adding different pieces, it's gonna make it way more difficult. And I feel like they're gonna win the Big Ten and dominate the Big Ten.
Yes, I concur. I think USC is by far the best team in the Big Ten, in my opinion. I think the moves they went out and made got them to a point now where they should be one of the best teams in the nation. They got a legitimate shot of winning the national championship. I think them adding to Leovano Hoffman, that's gonna take a lot of pressure off Juju. Because
Yeah.
in my opinion, I think Juju is a shooting guard. So now she's gonna be able to play her more natural position. And I think she's gonna be more efficient than what she was last year. But yeah, I really love USC this year. And I think they're gonna do some really big things. I was surprised that they went to the Elite Eight last year. Although Juju really carried that team,
I
but
watched Juju all year. I was not surprised. I felt like they should have went further, but of course she made some freshman mistakes, did some freshman type things where it's like, okay, these other teams they've been in this position before. So she's gonna make those mistakes, but I feel like now that they went that far, she understands, she knows. But I wasn't surprised. Yeah, I thought they was gonna go pretty far because she was kind of on a roll, but she ended up making some freshman mistakes. But she wasn't playing like a freshman all year. But just when it got to that point in the time, that happened. So
yeah, they had a really competitive game against UConn. They lost by 7 points.
yeah.
But yeah, USC had a phenomenal year. Like I said, I expect very big things from them. Speaking of UConn, I don't know if you kind of watched last night, but their freshman Sarah Strong, she had a
Mm.
phenomenal game. 17.6 steals. How do you feel about her? How do you feel about UConn as a team this year?
UConn as a team, I feel like they're gonna do what UConn does. Basically, they're gonna end up in the Elite Eight somehow, some way. Even when they just because Gino's such a good coach, and he's just very like he's just Gino. That's just Vesta. He's great. So he is icon. I know people loosely throw the word around, but Gino's an icon
Nah,
in
for
the
sure.
flesh, and so I feel like they have a good coach, and even with that, the freshman coming in, and then they got KK, was really good point guard, and then Paige, and I don't know what's going on with Izzy. But I'm hoping for her. I'm hoping for her to eventually get healthy. That's someone who I'm really rooting for because she's really a good player. Watching her
Yes.
throughout high school and just seeing like what she's doing, like her and Paige, I'm hoping that they can eventually at least play 6 months together. Cause Jesus, but hopefully that they can come together. I feel like I don't know if Izzy's coming back, but if Izzy's coming back and she can be healthy and do what she needs to do, I feel like UConn would definitely be in the Final Four because they have a lot of pieces.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they went to to the Final Four last year. That was
Mm.
with them being very banged up. So I think if UConn can stay healthy, that team's gonna be a lot to deal with.
That's the
Um,
problem.
yeah, I mean, UConn. I mean, Paige, like I said, Sarah Strong though, she was the number one recruit in the nation. Great
Mhm.
performance by her, great debut. But yeah, if Izzy Flood could come back, that would be huge for them because she's one of the best two-way players in the league, man. She can put a lot of pressure on opposing teams' guards. So yeah, I like kind of like USC. I have very high expectations for UConn. They should be
Mhm.
right there. But there's a lot of great teams, the age. I mean, you got Texas, you got Notre Dame. You mentioned Arizona. I think they're a kind of sleeper team. I think another
Yeah.
team that's going to be kind of good is TCU. I also like Kentucky. I mean, there's a lot of good. Ole Miss. There's a lot of good teams in
Yeah.
women's college basketball right now. Who speaking of sleeper teams? Who's like your sleeper teams? Teams that people are not really paying a lot of attention to.
I think K State. Um,
A
K
Yoka
State
Lee.
has Kennedy Taylor, which I played in high school with her, but she's a post player. She transferred from Colorado and then she went to Missouri State, which is kind of like a smaller school, and now she's at K State. Um, I'm hoping that she's very impactful. Being I played with her in high school, she was younger than me, but just watching her grow and develop. I'm hoping that she does great things because she is great. I've seen her playing with her, so I know her potential and the things she can do. So I hope she remains confident and doing what she needs to do. Also, the twins, I feel like they're very, very, very competitive and they shoot at a very, very, very high level. So hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
them playing off each other, and then they're all from they're all used to playing with each other. And so Kennedy and the twins, they've been around each other and been in the same areas, played in the same gym. So hopefully that chemistry can bring them together. But I feel like K State is going to be a team that is going to be like probably, I think they're going to end up playing Texas in the Big 12. I'm going to predict that
Mm.
in the championship game. I feel like hopefully if everybody stays healthy and it goes as I see Texas and K State in the Big 12 championship. That's what I'm picking.
Yeah, I like Kansas State. Another team I like in the Big 12 is TCU. Them
Mhm.
adding Haley Van Lith and Maddie Shear. I think they have one of the best backcourts in women's college basketball. So I can
Mhm.
already see what they do because TCU was hot last year. They started, I think, about 14-2, and then
Yeah,
they
and then
had a plethora
uh,
of injuries. Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
only thing though. The only thing though about a good backcourt is okay, cool. In the Big 12 is literally the Big 12 for a reason. You can have a good backcourt, but like them post is like what dominates the Big 12. The Big 12 is known for their post players. So they can have a
yeah,
great backcourt, but it's like when it's time for the post players to step up in the crucial moments, that's what the Big 12 is about. That's what Texas and that stuff is about. And also Texas having most of their people come back as well. Um, their post player, well, she's not really a post player. She's kind of like plays everywhere, but she does really a good job too. And I cannot think of her name right now.
you talking about Madison Booker?
Not Madison. Maddie is a big PG. Maddie plays like Magic Johnson, and I don't think people
Aaliyah
realize
Moore.
that. Yep, Aaliyah
Aaliyah
Moore.
Moore, yeah,
I think
Aaliyah Moore.
Aaliyah Moore. I feel like if she's able to play like the four area, that would be really good for them because she's really really good. I like her game. I like
Yeah, I do
Madison
too.
too.
Yeah,
Madison plays like Magic Johnson. I don't think that's a person. When you say a team, a person that people are asleep on is Madison. She literally plays like Magic Johnson. I got to watch her at the Big 12 and she plays like Magic Johnson. She does have some times on defense where she does get a little bit lackadaisical, and it's like, okay, come on now, you use your length, you slide your feet, but she is a really good point guard. She plays like Magic Johnson, so hopefully she gets more notoriety this year, and people are like more prevalent to what she has going on because she's
hmm
really good.
yeah. I love Madison Booker. Also, Roy Harmon, she's back now, and Roy Harmon is one of the best
Oh yeah,
playmakers. Yeah, she's one of the best playmakers in the nation.
yeah, Rory. I forgot about Rory. Yeah, Rory is really
Mm,
really good, and I'm excited to
yes, she is.
see how that goes with her and Maddie. I don't know if they're gonna put them in the backcourt together or move
That's what I
Rory
think. Yeah,
move Rory to the two because Rory can score the ball. She's very very good at playmaking. But Madison, I don't know how well Madison plays off the ball. So I'm excited to see how that looks. I haven't seen Madison play off the ball, but I know Rory can play off the ball because when it was Rory and I forgot who the other girl was, sometimes she would bring the ball down. She's good at moving without the ball. So I know she can play off the ball, but I don't know how well
yeah,
Madison can play off the ball.
yeah. That's true because last year Madison Booker she was very ball dominant.
Mhm.
Because she had to do so much for Texas. She was trying to score and facilitate. But now with Rory back in the mix, they can kind of feed off each other. So yeah, I love Texas. I love Kansas State. Again, TCU I think is a big sleeper team in the Big 12. Speaking of the Big 12, I want to transition to the SEC.
Mhm.
You got Ole Miss, you got Kentucky, you got Vanderbilt, you got Auburn, a bunch of teams in the SEC that's trying to fight with LSU and South Carolina to become one of the best teams in the SEC. Who do you think out of the SEC of those teams I just mentioned that's really going to emerge and maybe poised as a big threat to South Carolina LSU?
Oh, Miss.
Ole
Oh, Miss.
Miss,
Yeah.
Coach Yo.
Yeah. It's always been she's a very good coach, but she's been building her team for quite a while now. Um yeah, I think Ole Miss they've given South Carolina some trouble before.
Ooh, a whole lot.
Yeah. So Even in the, I don't even think when Aaliyah Boston was there, they had gave South Carolina some trouble when she was there too. I believe that's correct. But I feel
Yeah.
like Ole Miss
Mhm.
is gonna get in trouble. Yeah, that's probably Ole Miss. I feel like LSU is good, but I don't know if I'm impressed yet. I'm not I'm impressed. Not even impressed by Flau'jae. It's expected at this point,
Yeah, she one of the best in the country.
but I don't know if I'm impressed by them as a whole. LSU. I don't know if I'm impressed by them as a whole yet. I need to see more. I need to I don't know. It's just okay right now. It's not like, oh, okay. It's like, I don't know. Let's see. That's how
Yeah,
I feel.
LSU they definitely have the talent to be a great team. We just really
Yeah.
got to see it. Now no more Angel Reese. That means Anissa Morrow, she's going to have to take on a bigger load, which I
Eh,
think she's ready to do. Because I mean, when she was at the Paul, she was one of the top rebounders in the country. So yeah, I think LSU, excuse me, is still going to be
But
pretty good. Michaela
but I
Williams too, who's a freshman
that
last year. So
I'm thinking about that too. But also like who else is gonna step up? That's what I'm thinking about. Like we know Anissa and we know Flau'jae is gonna do what they're gonna do. But like who else is gonna step up? Who else is
yeah,
gonna?
I think Sade Wilson, who they got it from Duke and
Yeah.
Miami. I think
I
she's gonna be yeah.
hopefully so. I like Shy. Last year I was kind of disappointed in her at Miami. I don't know if she was trying to take a back seat. I don't know what was going on. I didn't like what was going on because she came from Duke and she was killing at Duke. Her freshman
Yeah,
year
yeah.
was the top of the guards. I'm like, she's gonna be doing great. And then she transferred. I didn't know why she transferred, but people got their own reason why they transfer. But then she went to Miami, and I was kind of like, I don't like the way her game looks with Miami. I don't know what's going on, but it's not flowing for me. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't like this for her. So she had transferred again to LSU, and I'm like, okay, I think Kim's gonna fare because Kim kind of, not even kind of, Kim is most definitely pushes the point guards and pushes them. So I hope
Without
Shy
question.
back in her comfort zone like she was at Duke when she was just killing and just playing freely. Because in Miami, she didn't look like she was playing freely. She didn't look like she was having fun.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree. I don't think she ever fit with Miami. Great. I just never think she fit with them. But now that she's on LSU, if she can go back to looking like her freshman self, I mean, you got her, Michaela Williams, and Flau'jae. That's gonna be a tough out. I
yeah,
think Leah Rosario, who's their sophomore center, I want to see what she does this year because she didn't get a lot of playing time last year. So yeah, LSU is definitely an interesting team because they got a lot of talent, but we just got to see it come,
I,
come together.
I'm looking to see Michaela be consistent. That's my thing. Michaela's great, but I'm looking and interested to see her stay consistent and be one of the top people on the scouting report that they have to stop. Because she have games where she did really good in her freshman year, and then some games
Hmm.
it's like, where'd she go? So hopefully she's been in the gym and we can see some consistency. But I feel like she's gonna be a very key player to their success because she can score such high rates and rapid.
Ooh.
And so,
Yeah, score. I mean, she can really, really fill it up. Seriously. I mean, I feel like any given night she can have 25, 30 points easily.
and
But like
that's
you
what
said, also any given night she can have 5 or 10 points. So it's the high and the low, up and down. So
consistency. But hopefully Shy helps with that, and hopefully Shy helps with defensively because Shy is a really good defender. Even though at Miami offensively she wasn't where she wanted to be, I've seen her do great on the defensive end, push herself defensively, so she can help with guarding those players. Because at some points last year, Flau'jae was the only person that could guard somebody for real. So hopefully she can help out Flau'jae and Flau'jae not having to guard the best guard every time. Hopefully they can
hmm
switch back and forth. Like, okay, you got her one time, I get her another time, just to give each other a break. So hopefully they do that.
yeah, because if they do that, I mean LSU is gonna be a national championship contender. And speaking of national championship contenders, Deasia, what is your national championship prediction?
Um, I don't know my national championship prediction. I can tell you a final four.
Okay, give me your final four.
Um, Texas. This is speculation because we don't even know whose side is on who. But Texas,
Exactly.
South Carolina, um, Notre Dame, Olivia Miles,
mm,
and
mm.
go in the backcourt. I feel like they're gonna run the AC. especially with Deja Kelly being gone and going to Oregon.
Going to Oregon. Yep.
So I'm pick Notre Dame, and then my fourth one, UConn, because they somehow figure out a way to get in there.
Every year, don't they? Every year.
Yeah, so that's my four. But
I'm gonna go. I got UConn. I got USC, South Carolina, and I'm gonna go with Texas. I really like Texas. I think it's gonna be close between them and Notre Dame, but I kind of like Texas a little bit more than I like Notre Dame. So yeah, that's my final four, and I'm gonna give you my national championship winner. I got USC winning national championship.
I forgot it. I didn't even put USC in there. Actually,
I
got
got them winning it all.
yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like USC could, but also Texas too. They got a lot of pieces. And then it's
It's tough.
like I don't know. Hannah doing what she did, and then Olivia Miles coming back, and I'm just like
Woo.
I don't know. And then their coach, like what is her name? Their coach, she's such a great.
Miguel Ivy.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
her.
Miguel Ivy. Yeah.
She's probably one of my favorite coaches that's in college basketball. I love
Oh
her.
yeah, I like Coach Ivy too. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Notre Dame, that backcourt, man. I mean, that's an insane backcourt, and they still got Sonya Citron,
Yeah,
and Maddie Westball. I mean,
they be sleep on
woo.
Sonya be on be in her own island. Like if you guard Sonya, you're on an island, and she be getting them every time.
Oh yeah, cause I think she's one of the best shooters in women's college basketball. Probably top five, top 10 shooter in the nation. So
Yeah,
now she's gonna have Olivia Miles throwing her the ball on that wing. Yeah, I mean, it's man, I don't know. This is tough, because there's so many great teams in women's college basketball. That's the problem. It's so many great teams.
but it's all
You know,
about
so
because you can start off hot and then get cold, like TCU did.
yes, TCU.
Yeah, and then I'm interested to see. I don't even know who else Oregon really has besides Deja Kelly, but
Deja Kelly, yeah.
she always finds a way to put where she's at on the map because nobody was talking about North Carolina until she went there and kind of created a little wave. And so now she's at Oregon. I'm interested to see what that looks like for her. And yeah,
Yeah, I think Oregon, Oregon hasn't been a really good team in like about 3, 4 years, when they still had Sabrina and Satu Sabli and then her sister Niara. But
yeah,
now that they have Deja Kelly, I mean, we know Deja Kelly can get them buckets. Like, that everyone knows that she can really score. So if she could come in and say average like 20 points per game and put the team on put the team on her back, I could see Oregon being a decent team. But it's a lot of talented teams that you really got to have. I think a lot of depth to really win a lot of games, especially advance deep into the tournament. You got to have a pretty deep team. I know earlier you said that Kansas State. I think you said Kansas State has a deeper bench now. So yeah, I think that goes a long way when you have depth, because that's why South Carolina has been able to dominate everyone the last like 4 years, because they just had the deepest team in all of women's college basketball. So yeah, I think that's definitely going to matter. But yeah, like I said, it's just a lot of great teams in women's college basketball. So it's really tough to make these predictions, because literally any of these teams can win. It could be teams that we didn't even mention that's going to be a surprise team, like NC State was last year.
yeah, NC State and Oregon State.
Yes, Oregon State. What's another team? Syracuse. I know DeAsia Fair is no longer there, but Syracuse is a pretty solid team. So you just never know how these things are really going to end up shaping out, because there could be a team that no one sees coming and ends up going to like the Elite Eight or Final Four, like NC State did last year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because NC State they were unranked to start the season. They went all the way to the Final Four. So you just never know really how it's going to shape out. But one thing we do know, DeAsia, this is going to be a great women's college basketball season. I'm so excited that it has begun. I know in a couple of weeks USC is going to be playing Notre Dame. Do you have a prediction for that game?
I don't know. I feel like it depends on how well Olivia Miles and Hannah how they're playing together. I feel like that'll be impactful because Sonya's gonna be Sonya, so she's gonna do what she does. Um, Hannah is very, very competitive on the defensive end, but it's all about the offensive
Yes.
flow. Hannah started to get into an offensive flow at the end of the year, so hopefully she's continuing that, and hopefully Olivia Miles coming in is not like disrupting their what they kind of had
Their
going.
rhythm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So hopefully they've been practicing and working out together and sleep and eating together so they can have some chemistry and be able to play together and do great things. But I don't know. Probably USC is probably gonna win because Juju's just competitive level is super high,
It is, yeah, it is.
and she has some people that like play at her pace. Like the seniors last year, they had to get to play at her pace, but I feel like Juju has her own pace that she kind of plays at. It's like the younger generation
Mm-hmm.
that she plays at, and so with her being able to them being younger like her and keeping up with her speed, it's not like she going on a fast break by herself no more. They with her on the fast break, so.
Yeah, that's facts. I mean, again, having Talia Von Hoffen and Kennedy Smith next to her, I think is going to make a huge difference for USC this year, and that's why I have them winning the national championship. I know that's pretty bold, but I just really love what USC has going on. Honestly, I do. So I think they're going to win it all. So yeah, you said you didn't have a championship prediction.
No, I don't know.
It's too
It
tough. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if you kind because Paige every time it gets to that time, Paige turns on a whole. She presses a different
Yeah,
button.
she turns it up.
So, and then they probably thinking like redemption from last year. They've already experienced it in USC. Then Texas too. I feel like Texas should have did better than what they did. Vic is probably over there like yeah. And then Rory's back, so I feel like it's a lot to consider to predict this early. But it's all going to be in a matter of who's in the flow of things when it's time. Are you going to be ready in March? Are you
Mm-hmm.
healthy? Are you knowing the scouting report? Are you knowing who you're guarding? Are you understanding what we're trying to do? Are you playing at the same pace? Is everybody on the same page? It's just a lot of things to consider. And some of the teams that we're like doing great now may not be doing great later. Like I know you mentioned TCU.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Haley Van Lift. Of course, they're going to be impactful. Sometimes it's all about the matchup. Sometimes some teams like Oregon State, you get the right matchup and they'd be over for them. And you'd be like, how did this team beat this team? And it's a matchup on there. Somebody killed somebody else on there that didn't expect to because they had a good matchup. So I don't know.
Nah, I feel you. Oh, I just mentioned. I just thought about a team we didn't even mention is UCLA.
Oh yeah, London. I like her. I like London and the post player. Who
Lauren
else?
Betts.
Lauren Betts.
Mm-hmm.
Kiki.
Kiki
Yeah,
Rice, yes.
it's UCLA. Yep, UCLA's tough too. So that UCLA USC game should be crazy. I need to see when that is. I might need to go.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
I need to take a flight.
Exactly, because that should be one of the best games all year. I mean, seriously, because obviously, with them being both in California, they have a huge rivalry with each other. And then with both of them being two of the best teams in women's college basketball, that's going to be a very competitive matchup. I mean, you're going to have Kiki going against Juju. You're going to have Lauren Best going against Kiki Ariafin on USC. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of great matchups right there. I can't wait for that game.
Oh yeah, and Kiki transfer from Stanford. I wonder what Stanford's going. They probably. I don't even know if they're gonna be a factor.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Go
yeah,
ahead, go ahead.
good. It should be USC versus UCLA should be very good, and then London, which is the left-handed guard. I don't know if you know who that is.
Y'all know
Her,
she. Mhm.
who I think they like played against each other in high school, so
They did,
they
yeah,
playing against each other in competitive nature. So that should be an interesting game, and Chris Brown
yeah.
probably for that or something because Juju celebrities.
Yeah, because I mean, we know last year Juju she had like all the celebrities there at her games. So and now USC has an even better team than what they had last year. So yeah, absolutely, that's gonna be a phenomenal game to see that.
Mm.
So you have USC and UCLA going against each other for the Big Ten championship.
For UCLA is in the wait UCLA is in the Big Ten.
They're in the Big Ten now. Yeah, since the
I thought
Pac-12 is no longer a thing. Yeah,
wait who's is Oregon? Okay, Oregon is just in its own thing, right?
Oregon's in the Big Ten too.
I don't know. I don't. I thought Oregon was like one of the Pac-12 teams is the only team that's in there.
Yes, Oregon State. That's the Pac-12 team. Yeah,
Okay.
it's Oregon State. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably yeah. UCLA, cause I ain't
UCLA.
gonna lie, the Iowa teams. No offense, them Big Ten teams, them Indiana and them slow girls that move slow. They're no. It's gonna be UCLA versus USC because it's like the Big Ten has the Iowa and the Michigan and
Mm-hmm.
Indiana. No, Iowa State's in the Big 12, but they just move
Yeah.
slow. Like the Big Ten is always move very slow. They move too slow. Juju, you know, I don't. It's not gonna work.
Yeah,
Not
they
gonna,
won't be able to keep up. Yeah, and with UCLA too, because UCLA they have a high powered
yeah,
offense, so
he moves too fast for
you
them.
got to run with
London
them.
moves too fast for them. The bigs, both of the bigs on both sides. Not Sarah. Betts moves too
Yeah,
fast.
Betts. Yeah,
They move too fast for them Big Ten players. And Iowa is done for. Caitlin gone, but
she's
even
gone. Yeah, no, Gabby Marshall's gone too.
Gabby Marshall's gone. Caitlin's gone, and so those they move too slow. They need to run on pick up their feet. They not gonna keep up, or it's gonna be a blowout because they move too slow. Unless
Yeah,
they slow the game all the way down, which is probably what they're gonna do. Indiana is gonna do that. Now Iowa, I don't know who Iowa has. I haven't paid attention to Iowa since Caitlin left, but I know Indiana. I will say Indiana does move slow, but they are very, very good at making teams who move fast play at their pace. So if they can make a Juju or UCLA play at their pace, they may have a chance. But other than that, nope.
they're not because they're not gonna be able to score with them. That's for certain. They're not gonna be able to keep up with them because right, all those teams, USC, UCLA, they have too much firepower. So you got to
Yeah.
slow the game down. You got to make it a grinded out physical kind of game to have a shot of beating a UCLA and a USC. Because if you don't do that, you're gonna get blown out by them. So yeah, that Big Ten, now that you have UCLA and USC and Oregon in it, it's definitely a little bit more competitive. And I agree with you. I expect UCLA and USC to meet in the Big Ten championship game, which is going to be a phenomenal game when that does happen in March. But yeah, the Big Ten looks pretty good. I know we kind of touched on Notre Dame earlier in the ACC. Who else do you like in the ACC other than Notre Dame? Because I kind of like Duke.
Yeah. Um. Well, I be saying her name wrong. Kara. I be saying it wrong. She's
Kara
a really
Lawson.
Yeah, Carol Austin. She's be she's a really really good coach. Um and they do good jobs. I feel like last year Duke was good but they made dumb mistakes. Like they'll get 5 stops and then turn the ball right back over 4 more times. Like I didn't like watching them last year cuz it frustrated me. They would do good and then just turn the ball over, like run with the ball or get a steal and just throw it out of bounds. So hopefully they got that together because that I know it was driving her crazy, but that was driving me crazy that they kept getting stops and they have the defenders. So I feel like hopefully they've been working on some offense because they have some great defenders. And although you need defense, somebody got to score the ball too. Somebody got to put the ball in the basket. So you
Yeah,
can
that's facts. Yeah.
want to, but if the other team score one time and you just still defending, it's still 2-0. You lost. So hopefully they find ways to put the ball into the basket and not turn the ball over. That was their biggest thing, is turn the ball over. They were great defensively. She had great defensive schemes, which I feel like
Hmm.
her defense was just her being a really good coach and them following the lead. But somebody got to score the ball over there. So hopefully somebody scores and somebody's able to take care of the ball because they kept turning the ball over. I'm like, oh my god, I can't watch this.
Exactly. Yeah. But like you said, Duke is a very good defensive team. I think they won 22 games last year. In my opinion, they could have been better than that. But like you said, they did turn the ball over a lot. You got to play cleaner basketball, right, to win,
Yeah,
especially in the ACC, because you got Notre Dame, you got Louisville, you got Florida State. So you got some pretty good teams in the ACC. Virginia Tech, even though now Kenny Brooks he went to Kentucky. Yeah, the ACC has some really good teams.
I don't know how good Virginia Tech is gonna be. I feel like last year was one of the best years in the ACC. I feel like Notre Dame is probably gonna run through it. I feel like Louisville
They
is good.
should, yeah.
Louisville is decent. They got Jada Curry. I feel like she need to be more consistent in her scoring and consistent in her leadership. She's a really good player. She played at Cal. She was the top scorer in the nation, I believe, or the second.
Hmm.
She did really great things. So I'm expecting Jada to do some good things and get back in her flow. But yeah, that Louisville also has Talia. I forgot her last name. She played with Jada in high school. She's really long, athletic, runs the floor well. She's a freshman, but she's really good. But them two are gonna play together. They're both from California. Hopefully Louisville can get some flow. Jeff from Louisville was complaining a lot about the NIL deals messing up their head, and he was getting on their head. So hopefully the NIL deals they figured that out and got that together. It looked like they were having a lot of locker room issues.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
they were.
yeah. So hopefully they fix those locker room issues and can focus on basketball instead of what's going on outside of basketball, which can be impactful. But locker room issues was a big thing with Louisville. So hopefully they fixed that and they got that together. Florida State. What's
The
her name?
Seminoles.
Yeah, they do really good. They're a young team. All of them were sophomores, I think, last year. So I believe now all of them are juniors. So I'm expecting them to be impactful. I think the ACC is probably going to be Notre Dame versus Florida State. If everybody stays healthy, that's my prediction. I feel like I don't know yet about Louisville because the locker room issues. Sometimes it can be like, okay, a locker room issue, then it can kind of maybe carry over. But it would either be I think it's gonna be Notre Dame for sure, but it's either gonna be Louisville or Florida State. That's what
I'm
I
gonna
feel.
go. I'm gonna go Notre Dame and NC State.
Oh yeah, I forgot about them.
Yeah, I'm going NC State.
Oh yeah, because they have the point guard.
Yeah, Zay James and Sanaa Rivers. Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
Sanaya. I like her game.
I do too. Yeah, I really do.
I'll have to go with the same thing because I forgot about NC State. It's so many teams, but hopefully she takes over. She takes too long to take over. That's my pet peeve about her. She's really really great, but she can score at such a great time, but sometimes I feel like since she's used to playing the two and she had to be the point guard last year, she don't know when to score or when to pass. And sometimes it's like, okay, girl, you need to take over now. And when she took over at the time she's supposed to take over, she did great things. So hopefully she got her decision making together.
Oh yeah, because Sanaa she's super athletic and she's a really good defender too. Like really good defender. Probably one of the best defending PGs in the nation. So yeah, you're right. If she can just become more aggressive as a scorer, I mean NC State should be
She rem-
right back where they were last year when which was in the Final Four. So yeah.
she gives Dee Dee Richards. That's what her game reminds me
Ooh, that's a good
of.
comparison.
But she's actually better, Dee Dee Richards. She's better because she has a mid range. Dee Dee Richards used
Yeah,
to not even people wasn't even guarding her past the free throw line because she was getting to that rack. But I think
I remember them days.
better because she can hit the mid range. So that's why I'm like, okay, you really good. But sometimes she be waiting too long to take over. Like some of them games they lost, if she would have just quit trying to pass and be nice and just went to go score, they would have won.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think last year she really kind of looked to Isaiah James a little bit too much because we know Isaiah James, excuse me, is a great scorer, but like Sanaya, you're a pretty good scorer too. So just shoot the ball more. Like you said, she's a good mid range shooter, so she needs to keep improving her 3 point game. But yeah, I want to see Sanaya have a big year. I think she can easily average like probably 17 to maybe 20 points per game, all while still playing elite defense. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what she does this year.
Yeah, and I think she was looking to her because she was very much a leader and she was empowering her, but homegirl. They double teaming her. She didn't hit 5 threes. Go score.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, she does need to be a more aggressive scorer. If she does that again, NC State is going to be right there in the mix of things when it comes to being in the ACC.
Mm.
Yeah, wow, we covered a whole lot. Yeah, I think we pretty much talked about every team that's kind of relevant. D'Asia, this was fun, man. I'm
Like,
glad we were able to do this. Hopefully we can do this again sometime.
most definitely. I appreciate you for having me on.
Yeah, appreciate you being with me. Also, I want to say I would love to come on your channel one day. I would
Yep.
love to kind of really do this thing like a collaboration for real.
Okay.
But this was fun. I enjoyed it. Again, thank you for coming on here. I see
Thank
we got
you
some
for
comments, so
having
yeah. Oh yeah,
and
most definitely.
everybody in the comments. Hello and thank y'all for watching. And yeah.
Yeah, any DH, tell the people where they can find you and follow you.
Well, I have a YouTube channel called the D'Asya Renee channel. I talk women's sports on there, but I'm doing like all sports on there. I also have my podcast, and I'm revamping it right now, so ho ho. But getting together. But on my sports channel, I'm on there, and I talk a lot about women's sports. I talk about men's sports on there too, but I mostly talk about women's sports. But yeah, that's where you guys can find me, the D'Asya Renee, and yeah.
What's going on? Getting some of these comments, but yeah, y'all go follow DeAsia, man. She really knows her sports. Like seriously, she really does. So y'all definitely love watching. Oh, thank y'all for some of these comments, man. Y'all so nice. Y'all so sweet. And like I said, DeAsia, we definitely, hopefully, will be able to do this again. And yeah, I want to come on your page too, and I would love to come on your podcast when you get it back up and running. Any last words, DeAsia?
No, I hope y'all have a blessed day, and I hope y'all keep tuning into women's sports. It's been a big year, since this time last year, November, just the change in the growth of women's sports. And me being a former athlete in women's sports, is great to see it growing. But yeah, that's all I have.
Congratulations, that all things are possible with God and everything give thanks for this is the will of God concerning you. Hashtag keep shining. Oh, thank you, Nikki T. So you got another comment. Y'all just love these comments. I love it. Keep pursuing your dreams. We are rooting for you. Yahweh bless you outrageously and contagiously and make you viral for his glory. Love you. Thank you. Amen. Amen. Amen for that. Sorry, y'all. Let me get to some of these comments. I like these bold predictions. Oh, thank you, Nikki T. Let's see what else we got. Oh, definitely missed it. It was reported that Ashton Walker's charges will drop. Oh yeah, did you hear about the Asian? She
Yeah,
should be
that's
back
why I
now.
said
Yeah,
I said
yeah,
hopefully I get it figured out because I seen Don Staley said the charges were dropped, but like it's still gonna be a process of what they're gonna do moving forward. So yeah, hopefully she can get to doing back what she loves and helping them out and not do whatever she did again to get in trouble because that was crazy.
exactly. And she just if she can just focus on basketball, she's a great player. She one of the best blockers in the nation. So that's all she needs to focus on. Again,
Mhm.
y'all, thank y'all for being on here, DeAsia. Once again, thank you for being on here.
Mhm.
Remember, y'all, laughter is good medicine. So what? Make sure you get your daily dose. Y'all know I'm an end, man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace. Start the peace on with me, DeAsia. Peace.